know if we're not in a good mental spot to handle and deal with our kid at time, hey, I'm gonna let your mama deal with it because I'm not ready to deal with that right now. And I know I might say some things, and we want to be very delicate with our kids. So if I'm not in a good mind space to have those conversations, here, talk to your mother. So I don't think nothing's wrong with that. And I don't think the way he pushed in the house, I have handled my daughter that way, but at the same time, I'm very apologetic when I do. I'm sorry, I'm very apologetic. But sometimes they need that little yanking. Like everybody got one arm that's longer than the other because we've been yanked on a couple of times. Like, hey, you moving too slow. You stop holding me.
Hey. All that 400-500 years ago trauma. We gonna have to counter that. We ain't got to put our hands on these children. We don't. We ain't got to do it. It's not effective.
We don't believe in whoopings.
We don't. It's not effective. Hey, I got a nephew. Shout out to my nephew AJ. Hey Ashton, TT, love you. I got a nephew. As long as he busy, he cool. You just got to find him something to do. Yeah, But when we at the mall or public places, we just got to prep. And we gotta start having conversations with our kids.
It takes so much planning and so much it takes so much energy to actually parent.
And parents they need to do the work because the reality of it is all these kids ain't gonna just mind you after the first time. You gotta start because the real world, they're gonna look for these kids to be critical thinkers. So you gotta start having conversations with your children. Like my 10-year-old, she understands that okay, today is Tuesday. Okay. If I say Monday, okay, Janae, you need to clean your room. Saturday, you need to get up and clean your bathroom. If she understands that on Saturday, if those things have not happened by Saturday, I ain't got to keep repeating myself. Then Saturday, when it's time to say, oh, can I go to this place with such and such, or can I go to Sky Zone, or can I do this or that? She automatically knows what the answer is going to be. I hear her tell her friends on the phone, my mom's not going to let me do that because I didn't clean my room. My mom's not going to let me do that because this. There are consequences to your actions when they become adults. Why are we waiting until they're adults to teach them this? Teach them this when they're kids. And you ain't got to put your hands on them to teach them. You don't.
I've said that I do understand that we as adults, we're human beings, right? So we're not perfect. And just because I'm a parent does not mean you're gonna always handle every situation perfectly. You always
That's it.
But I am always keenly aware when I have lost my temper or when I have lost my patience. And you know what I'm saying? And I'm clear. I'm like, okay, that wasn't like I know that that's right. I don't sit there and be like, well, that's what they get. Like, no, like that's like that is the lazy way to parent. That is when you don't have the energy, when you're not giving your child that, because it takes a lot more time. Like my daughter is 4. If she being resistant or something, or she acting a certain way, it's way easier to just be like, get over here, and just do that. Then it is to stop, take a breath. Okay, this is what we're not gonna do. Right. And then talk to her. That takes a lot more energy. It takes a lot more patience. It takes a lot more to be controlled and intentional about what you're doing than it does just react. But it's like we have to understand that that's what we're doing. And that's what we teaching our kids when we do that.
I would be giving him a complete pass because like Jovo said, that was a very teachable moment. And I don't know how they operate on a day-to-day basis. So that's the only reason I'm not going too far into that. But I think in another scenario, he did everything right except post it. Because those moments right there, if he was losing his patience and he couldn't deal with it in the morning, it's a good thing that he's not a single dad and that he had a partner that can shoulder that load. Because most single mothers, they don't have that, oh, go to your father. They don't get them breaks. They don't get those timeouts. So luckily for him in that moment, he had his spouse to give him that break, and the kid was still taken care of and maybe the mother talked to her and put in a better mood. I don't know the dynamics of their relationship or how they partner and work as a team, but all we can do is go off that video. And I think what he went wrong was he posted that video because now all we doing is speculating and assuming what happened or didn't happen. So, but as far as the video is concerned, it's not too bad. And I have to shed a light on it a little bit just so everybody can know that like this is life. And there's no handbook on how to treat your kid or talk to your kid. And some things might look bad to others. and it might not be too bad. You just have to know how to deal with your kid. That maybe that is a routine morning. Hey, look, yeah, you messing up, go to your mama. Maybe that's how they get down, and maybe they do have a good relationship and community. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? All we going off is this 30-second clip. So I'm not going to put too much on him.
Decided to share it.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think him passing her off to the mom to me made it seem like he didn't have any authority, and then. Or like, and there's obviously a reason why if he doesn't have authority, he doesn't have authority. Like I almost wondered if he was a stepdad or something. You know, I don't understand why that's something he could not have dealt with. You know, and if he didn't like her attitude, he could have addressed that one, and then he could have talked to her to try to figure out, you know, the root of what was happening as to where she was feeling that way.
Because what I just said, maybe he was having a bad morning too, and his mental he wasn't there mentally to deal with it. So go to your mother.
But that's not how it came across. Though it came across as though he's like, I don't want to deal with you
today. This morning,
I'm gonna push you off. I can understand. Okay, I'm not in a good mood today, and you talk to your wife and say, honey, can you deal with this? Not, I'm with my child, I'm gonna take her to school, and now she getting on my nerves because she didn't say that one last thing, so I'm gonna push her off.
But see, the reason I give him a pick because she said he went to Starbucks, got her coffee, made sure everything. So it seemed like he was trying to give her a good morning. I don't know if it was because she had something going on at school, or maybe she had a bad night. He woke up to do these nice things for her, and he didn't feel appreciated. He got mad. He didn't want to deal with her attitude. So it's like, hey, deal with your mother because this ride right here ain't gonna be what you want. And I'm just, you know, like sometimes we want to make sure we don't put like some people know their limits, right? So like I said, I don't know too much about him, so I can't go on him personally, but we know our limits. And I know if I'm in the mode where I'm about to be bad cop, and I know my daughter or son don't need bad cop right then and there, then I have to put them in a situation where they go get the communication that they need at the moment, right? So I think in that instance, I'm just assuming that maybe that's what he was doing. Like, you know what? I can't talk. I can't give you that right now. Go to your mother.
Or sometimes we just, when it comes to emotions, sometimes we need to teach kids to, and some adults need to learn how to do this too. That sometimes they just need to know how to sit with an emotion, experience it. Okay. Like if she would have said, don't talk to me. Okay. Ready to go to school? And it probably would have caught her attention, like, well, my daughter. Okay. And then we get in the car, let's have a conversation. You say you didn't want to talk to me. How you feel? Because how many of us do ask our kids, how you feel this morning? What's your emotion? You know, they use emojis to communicate for a reason. You know, I got that little sheet, you know, in my office, and I'm like, hey, point to me, tell me how you feel. What face fits with yours? You know, and just be mindful of how they're feeling. If they don't want to talk and they don't feel like talking, why force them to talk? You know, hey, they ain't got nothing to do with you taking her to school. That's your responsibility as a parent. And that's the other thing we got to stop doing too. We buy clothes and buy breakfast and do stuff for these kids. And then we walk around bragging about it like it's just such a big deal. You're supposed to feed your children. Maybe not give them Starbucks or coffee, you know, but you chose to do that. So don't put it off on that kid like she just ungrateful because you chose to do that unless she asked you to do it. Now that's a whole nother, you know, scenario. But, you know, this whole, I'm with Cannon. It's like he posted it trying to get this kind of like this sympathy from the public, but also this pat on the back of, oh, he don't take no junk. You know, meanwhile, your daughter probably not going to talk to you in the morning for the next couple of weeks. Because, you know, kids, they pick up on stuff like that. You know, then she going to see herself on the internet and it's going to be like, I don't trust my dad now. Because what I trust him to do, like if I'm in a bad mood or if I'm having a certain experience, what I trust my father to do is that he's not going to keep it to himself and he's not going to try to get understanding of how I'm feeling in that moment.